going to go ahead and get started. We're going to go through and do the introduction thing to Stride today. It won't be very long. We'll go ahead and, I told you 30 minutes. We're going to go ahead and respect everybody's time for that 30 minutes. So I've got some slides just to kind of go through and review what we're going to cover. And so let me go ahead and grab my screen share here. And we'll be rocking and rolling. Alright, screen share. Okay, we're going to run through very quickly. It's just really quickly, what is Stride? We're going to talk about what it is, watch a little video that they've done, so it kind of explains what it is, how you get into it, how everybody logs in, and how to get started with it. After that, we'll kind of revisit in a week or so. We'll add or 2 or 3 and see if we've got any implementation issues, or if we can touch base and see if y'all are using, having any trouble with any of the elements. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about what is Stride. Stride is a free, totally free program provided by the Mississippi Department of Education. The district applied for a grant for certain feeder patterns from last year, and everybody was in those feeder patterns was accepted. So the program has been free. It was free last year. It's free this year. It's been free apparently for many, many years. I don't anticipate that it would go away, but who knows these things. So, but it is an academic program for, it really runs through kindergarten through high school, but this is all elementary groups, so we're doing kindergarten through 8th grade, and it's reading, language arts, science for 5th graders, and reading, language arts, math, and then science for 5th graders. It's a nice little program. It's got a lot of different activities, and we're just going to watch this little video here so that you can kind of get an idea of what it is. So that kind of gives you an idea of what it is and what it does. The best way for you to get going is just to get going. It's really it's really intuitive. Last year we did the same kind of implementation model, and we had frankly, we had just as good implementation usage from just doing these videos that we did anything else. Because once the kids log in and get started, it's just very intuitive. They can work through everything at their own pace. They can go to the computer lab, and it puts them at their skill level, and it works them through their gaps, which is really, really important. Okay, so now we're going to kind of pop out of that, and we're going to get to Stride. All right, so how do you get to Stride? The easiest way to get to Stride is to go through the instructional technology, called the Go page. But through the Go page, and the link is going to be in the PowerPoint slide, you've got instructional applications, and you've got the link to Stride. And inside of Stride, there's 3 different people that log in. Teachers log in, students log in, and school administrators log in. And each of them have their own little kind of link. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is talk about how your school administrators log in and how that works. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click the Stride login page so I can go ahead and pop out. And I'm an administrator, so I'm going to log in as an administrator. Now, I see all the schools. You would obviously only see your school. We're going to go ahead and just pick a school. We're going to log into Johnson Elementary School. Now, you'll see that Johnson has already been working. They've got badges, they've got work, all those great things. But inside of Stride, your teachers have got to know how to log in, and so do your students. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is manage your classes. All right, so we're going to go to Class Manager, and we're going to look at all of the classes that are available. We are only loading, for the most part, homerooms. That's what we're supposed to be doing. But, you know, things change from year to year. Just depends. Okay, so now Johnson has renamed their courses, which is great. Okay, but they are loaded by homeroom. You always want to check up to this box at the top and make sure that there's nobody hiding in here. It's very, very, very important that the proper grade level is assigned to each homeroom. Because if they're not, whatever grade that is set, that's the content that's going to be presented, and you don't want to give a 3rd grade student 5th grade material, because that will just frustrate them. But inside of here, we've got all these active classes. So the first thing you're going to want to do is print the information so your teachers can log in. So we're going to go up here and click Print Logins. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can do a master class sheet or guide sheets. So we're going to go ahead and just click Print a Master Roster, and you're going to see that you get the name of the class, the teacher, and the login code. Now, the passwords are by default. They're employee ID numbers. Some of them have changed theirs, and that's fine. All right, but this gives them a place to get started. You can print that if you like and keep it in the computer lab or keep it wherever. If you want to print a different view, you can click the guide sheets. And once you print the guide sheets, you click the classes. We're going to go ahead, we're going to just print all the grades just for the heck of it. Click print, and now here's a guide sheet for each teacher. So basically you print this, you cut it out, you stick it in their mailbox. They've got all their good stuff. If they have reset their own password, they're going to see that. But if it's the password that we designated, they'll see their employee ID number. It just depends. Either way, as the administrator, you can reset anybody's password you need to. All right, students are the same way. Once you're in the class, you can print the student login. So the administrator logs in and sees all the teachers and prints their logins. The teacher has to log in and print the student rosters. So I'm going to skip this. Okay. So here, the first thing I want to do is print my report, print my logins. So you'll see at the top, as the teacher, I have print logins. I can print a master student sheet, which is going to give me everybody in one list that I can print and keep in my room in case the kids forgot. By default, the student's MSIS number is their password, but a lot of schools have changed that. I'm going to show you how to do that. Some of them have no password because you can wipe out the password, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. All right, or you can also print the take-home sheets. You notice in the video they were talking about using it at home. If I do that, I can click the logins and I get these take-home type printed sheets. So you print this out, you cut it apart, and each kid can take this home, and it gives them all the information that a parent needs to let the kid work at home. There are several schools last year that had a lot of usage at home at night because the parents are really looking for something educational for their kids to do on those devices other than watch YouTube videos. Okay? So that's how you're going to do that. So we're going to get out of there. Okay? Now, I'm logged in as my teacher, so I know I can print my logins. The curriculum, you really would like to start with this fast adaptive engine, and you'd really like to keep it for your entire class. This is the recommended setting, all right? It used to be the default, and they keep saying the materials say it's the default, but everybody I've looked at has had begin and remain at the class grade level. The point of self-paced instruction is so that it fills in the gaps that the students have missed. By doing this adaptive engine, it will group the kids and be able to identify their strengths and their weaknesses based on what they know and what they don't know. You don't get that as much if you start them at the grade level. If they are a student who is performing at grade level, that's fine. But if they're in the bottom quartile, or they're at the bottom 25%, or below the bottom 25%, there are some things that they're missing that they need to make up. So the recommended setting is this fast adaptive engine. All you have to do is set that for the entire class, and then you're good to go, okay? If you want to turn on science, this is where you do that. You must turn on science. It's not on by default, okay? You have to go ahead and turn that on, all right? You do have the quiz builder. You saw that in the little video. You can make your quizzes if you want. That's up to you. That's the teachers. You've got gap quizzes and PMA quizzes, and we're not going to cover that today, but there are special quizzes that they take periodically that will help level them and it does just like this, skill gaps, and gives you differentiated interventions, and we'll talk about that a little bit as well. As the teacher, I've got some settings. I can put my email address. I can change my email. I can tell how often I want email addresses. I can get rapid clicking reports. This is a gamified system where the kids do earn coins, but if they just click on things, you will get a warning that they have rapid clicking, and it will start. If they continue to do it, the system will take coins away. So this is also where you can tell it you want less games or more games, and you can turn the games on or off. Please don't turn the games off. That's the whole motivation, okay? So you can leave that on. You can turn certain games off here. You can allow them for certain students and turn them on and off for students. At the very bottom is where, as a teacher, I would change my password. Okay? But those are for my settings. I've got reports I can run. The one report that the student grouping report, I'm going to run it for these. And what that's going to do is that's going to give you a report and group the kids together who are missing a specific skill. So for this one, you have these kids are having a really hard time with perpendicular numbers. Perpendicular number lines called axis to define a coordinate system with the intersection of the lines. They're having a really hard time. I don't think they have completed the assessments necessary to generate the work, because you'll see it says click names to download instructional resources. I don't think they've completed enough assessment yet to get those instructional resources, but I have checked with the company to make sure that that's correct. But here are your groups. These kids need represent real world and mathematical problems. It gives you each of these groups. So that's a nice little function. Okay, but that's in the reports, and that's the student grouping report. If you do, you can see the rewards. You can see how many kids and how many coins they have. You can give them more coins, and you can give them less coins. All right. You will also get a report for the kids who are just clicking. All right. You can deal with that individually as a student level. Last year we did have some students who had that, but what happens is the kid will lose their coins. The system will take their coins away, and then they cry a river. You as a teacher can put the coins back, but the system will take it away if it finds out that they're just clicking on stuff. Okay? And last but not least, you can start your own little contest if you want to do that. All right, so this is the teacher view. This is all the stuff that I can do as a teacher. When I log in, come on, there it goes. It's going to show me my dashboard right in the front, and then I can move past through that. Each of these things is clickable. So if I want to we've got lots of badges that are earned below grade level, which is not pretty good. It's not good. This is the most important here because this is the grade level work. In this particular class, there's a lot of kids who are doing well. They've gotten 57% of their grade level work correct, but they're still getting 43% of their grade level work incorrect. And if you click on that, it's going to drill down, and it's going to show you what that grade level work is and who is in the groups that are not having success with those. And you can really look down and see those. Okay? So that's a pretty nifty thing. Okay? All right, so that was the teacher setting. Now, as the administrator, okay, oops, excuse me, as the administrator, I need to know from each school who the administrator is going to be so I can send your KCC code. Some schools, I know it's probably the same person. If this is the same person from last year, I don't need that information. That person has their KCC code and they are going to be fine. If you are a new school and you've never implemented before, you need to email me so I can send you the KCC code, and you have to tell me who your person is going to be because I have to put their contact information for the email reports and to log into the system. Okay? So, in other words, to get started with Stride, you need to send me an email, tell me the name of the person who's going to be in charge of it. I will send you back the KCC codes. You need to print your teacher logins, print your student logins, and you can get started. The only other thing you have to make really sure of is making sure that each of your classes is either renamed or that you're taking care of making sure that all of your classes are associated with the right grade. Okay? So, for example, in most JPS SAM instances, anything that starts with a 1 is first grade, 2 is second grade, 3 is third grade. If you have any classes here that you are not going to use, deactivate them. Okay? Just deactivate them. Because that way when you run all of your major reports, you don't have to fool around with those extra blank pages. Okay? So if you're not going to use this 79, I think is exceptional ed, I think, not sure, deactivate it. Alright? If you're not going to use it. If you are going to use it, leave it alone. Like, you can also rename that course if you want to. Come on. The internet's dying on me. Come on. Well, bottom line, you can I'm not going to sit here and wait for the internet to pop up on me. You can rename that. It's not a big deal. Those course names can be renamed. So you can put it by the name of the teacher. All right? All right. So, that's it in a nutshell. Let me go pop back into our meeting agenda. So we talked about how to admin students and teachers log in. Again, if you forget the directions, everything is here. Here's the students login, the teachers login, and the school administrators. I will make one recommendation for the students login. I do recommend that, we'll pull this over here. I do recommend that you use the KCC, have the kids use the KCC code. So when the kids go to this screen, if they'll put the KCC code in, it will take them right to their list of students in their class, and it's one less screen they have to fill out. So if this is Tavarian, and then I just put his password in. So really what I had to do is put it in the KCC code and his password. It's going to say welcome, and it's going to open up his Stride setting. Okay? And he's got to go ahead and get started. He's got no points, so he's going to start at the beginning. He's in gap assessment mode, so it's going to go through. It's going to see what he knows, see what he doesn't know, and try to find out where the gaps are so that it can go ahead and program in his learning path. Okay? That's how that works. All right? He can see his score, and he can see the other classes and the other kids in his grade, and he can see how many coins they have. See, somebody's got a lot of coins. I don't know who that is, but he can see who that is. And trust me, they all know who they are, and they love these leaderboards. They will do the math and the reading to try to get these leaderboards. It's this whole gamification thing now. So I'm going to log out of that. Okay. I'm going back to my website. When I hit the Stride login, I've got the login for the teachers where they're going to put their KCC code. And it's going to log in eventually. All right, I'm already logged in. So it'll put their KCC code in, their password. Okay? If you're an administrator, when you hit that login screen, you're going to pick admin login and put in your KCC code and your email address and your login. And you will be set up to go straight to Stride. Okay? All right. Make sure you deactivate classes you aren't using. Oh, how can you change passwords? Once you're in, you can, each teacher can change the passwords in their own class, or you as the administrator can log in to each one and change their password. There is no way to do it by bulk. I asked that last year. I can ask it again, but I don't think it's going to change. Okay, so I'm just going to pick the first one on the list. Come on. Come on. There we go. When you look at your class roster, you'll see that some of them have a password set and some of them don't. You can clear all the passwords if you'd like, or when you click a student, you've got edit student and you can put in a new password for that student. Okay, so that's completely up to you. Okay. Alright, so you can reset the passwords. We talked about setting the curriculum. We really recommend the 360 adaptive curriculum. And the last thing, you do need to set the time and the date. We're going to go back to the... Oh, that's not it. Let's get rid of that. Let's log in again. You do need to set your holidays. Whoop, sorry about that. If you come into the settings for your school, oh, no, it's school hours. I do it every time. School hours. Set your start time and your end time, because you do want to give your kids credit for working after school. All right, so if you want kids to get counted for any time before 7 or 7:30, that's fine. If you have after school program and you want them to start getting credit starting at 3 o'clock, you can change this to 3 o'clock. But for most of us, we're going to do from 7:30 to about 2:30. Okay, so you can change it to 2:30 if you want. That's up to you. If you've got school when school is not out, somebody put last year, they put in Thanksgiving and they put in Christmas. If you wanted to put in Monday, because Monday was a holiday, well, Monday was not a holiday technically, but the kids didn't come to school. So you could put that in and save that, and that way it's just like accelerated reader, accelerated math, or whatever. It's going to set the kids' goals and their time on task based on the time they're at school. So we do need to do that. Go ahead and put those dates in. Okay. All right. And the last thing is, this is just the directions. So when the kids have taken a Stride assessment and completed the Stride assessment, they'll get those customized instructional resources. And basically, it's a PDF. You click the link, the PDF generates, you can print it out, and it gives lots of kids. They can take it home and work on it. You can work on it in small groups. They can work on it with the tutor. They can do whatever. It's customized resources just for them on the skill that they need remediation on. So that's kind of a nice thing. All right, so the bottom line is Stride is ready. If you request your KCC codes, if you will request your KCC codes and go ahead and get started. Those of you that are already using it, this is kind of a repeat meeting. This is being recorded. I'll go ahead and put it on the Stride playlist. I'll change the dates on it so you'll see it and you can kind of watch it. And as soon as you're ready to request your KCC code, you can get started. Good luck and have fun.